It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
Before superheroes hit the big screen, The Adventures of Superman in 1952 brought the Man of Steel to life on TV and became a pop culture phenomenon. George Reeves in the cape turned Saturday mornings into pure magic. But behind the scenes, it was all drama, danger, and secrets fans never saw. Here are 10 surprising facts that'll change how you see this iconic show. While millions of kids across the country saw George as the ultimate superhero, the man behind the famous cape didn't quite share the same excitement or admiration. To Reeves, playing Superman on television wasn't a career highlight at all. It was, in his own blunt and honest words, the bottom of the barrel. Ouch.
Get the dust off my glasses, at least.
Well, now I'll see what you've done. You're not supposed to find them with your feet.
A classically trained actor with big silver screen ambitions and dreams, Reeves constantly struggled with being typecast in one role and often felt completely trapped in the iconic tights and red cape. That internal battle and emotional toil deeply affected him, and tragically, it played a major role in his mysterious and controversial death in 1959, a strange Hollywood case that's still whispered about to this day. But while George Reeves wrestled with the personal burden of being Superman and the frustrations that came with the role, the show's producers were grappling with a very different kind of challenge, trying to keep the superhero illusion alive while working with a shoestring budget. In the early 1950s, television was still a growing medium, and studios were hesitant to invest heavily in children's programming, which was considered less profitable. As a result, Adventures of Superman operated with extremely limited funds. Behind the heroic front and special effects, the show relied heavily on TV magic and strict frugality. The budget was so tight that actors had to wear the exact same costume in every single episode. Scenes set inside the Daily Planet office were shot in bulk and then reused in multiple episodes with only minor desk rearrangements or lighting adjustments to trick the audience into thinking that it was something new. And when it came to bringing Superman's incredible powers to life on screen, the production crew had to get even more inventive, sometimes pushing the limits of creativity and even taking safety risks to make it all work. In the early days of filming, George Reeves was actually suspended by thin, barely visible wires for those now iconic mid-air flying shots. But things quickly took a dangerous turn. During one scene, one of those wires suddenly snapped, sending Reeves crashing to the ground in a terrifying fall that nearly ended the Man of Steel's run for good. After that close call, Reeves decided to ground himself permanently. From that moment forward, only trained stuntmen used the wires, while Reeves flew using a hidden platform with cityscapes superimposed behind him to simulate flight. However, when it came to making Superman truly stand out on screen, the iconic costume had to go through some unexpected and unusual changes. Believe it or not, Superman didn't always wear the classic red and blue suit that we all recognize today. In the early black and white episodes of Adventures of Superman, those vibrant comic book colors were swapped out for something much more monotone and less flashy. To make the costume visually pop on grayscale televisions at the time, George Reeves wore a strange and surprising combination of brown, gray, and white. While it may have looked dull, bland, or even awkward in person, the effect on camera was the opposite, giving viewers that unmistakable superhero shine that they expected from the Man of Steel.
Many exterior scenes were shot on the RKO Pictures 40 acres backlot, a versatile filming location.
But the magic of Superman's world didn't just come from clever effects and costumes, it also came from a place you would never expect. You've seen Metropolis. But you've also seen Mayberry and the Starship Enterprise all without knowing it. That's because The Adventures of Superman was filmed on the legendary RKO Studios and 40 Acres backlot, a Hollywood chameleon used for everything from the Andy Griffith Show to classic Star Trek episodes. The same streets Clark Kent walked down were later strolled by Captain Kirk and whistled through by Sheriff Andy Taylor. One lot, endless worlds, a true testament to the magic of movie sets and recycled scenery.
Earth, as it was in the early 1900s.
Or the mid-1900s. I would say, Captain, approximately 1960.
But even after Reeves' tragic death, the producers weren't ready to let go of Superman just yet, taking a strange, unsettling approach to keeping the franchise alive. After George's shocking death, producers weren't ready to hang up Superman's cape. They pitched a spin-off centered on Jack Larson's Jimmy Olsen, cobbled together with old footage of Reeves and look-alike stand-ins. It was a strange, eerie idea, like resurrecting Superman without his soul. Larson himself found it too morbid and flat-out refused to take part. It just didn't feel right, he later said. And honestly, he was right.
But he said that he was, in the last ones, he was going to direct quite a few of them. And he said, no, he said, I'm getting a little old to be running around in my underwear, as he called it. He had such a great sense of humor.
Even after Superman's death, his influence stretched far beyond the screen. Every kid wanted to be Superman, and in the 1950s, that meant jumping off of furniture, rooftops, and sometimes even worse, all while wearing knockoff capes. The show's massive popularity sparked a boom in Superman-themed toys, especially capes, but that innocent play quickly turned dangerous. Reports of children getting injured while trying to fly flooded in. George was heartbroken by the accidents, so he took matters into his own hands. He publicly urged toy companies to stop selling the capes, hoping to remind kids that even Superman couldn't defy gravity without help from Hollywood. And while Superman soared in the spotlight, a younger version of the Man of Steel almost had his own moment to shine before quietly vanishing into obscurity. Back in 1961, there were serious plans for a Superboy television series. A full pilot episode was filmed, focusing on a teenage Clark Kent as he navigated high school life while secretly dealing with his emerging superpowers. Everything was in place. Scripts were written, sets were constructed, and the show had real potential to succeed. But for reasons that remain unclear even today, the series was shelved before it ever aired. That unaired pilot became a mysterious and intriguing piece of Superman history, a tantalizing what could have been that continues to spark curiosity and debate among longtime fans, even today. While superhero stunts and scripts kept the show moving, it was a surprising source that truly kept it alive: your morning cereal. Believe it or not, a bowl of cereal helped keep the adventures of Superman flying high. When the show's future wobbled, Kellogg's stepped in as the main sponsor, turning breakfast time into superhero hour. But there was a twist. Because of the era's ultra-conservative values, George Reeves, aka Superman, and Phyllis Coates or Noel Neill, aka Lois Lane, were banned from appearing together in commercials. Why? Advertisers worried that showing an unmarried couple on screen, even in ads, might raise a few too many eyebrows. So much for truth and openness.
Hello, the greatest name in cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
But behind all the brand deals, costume tricks, and on-set dangers, the darkest part of the Superman story was yet to come. The final chapter of George Reeves' life remains one of Hollywood's darkest unsolved riddles. In 1959, he was found dead from a gunshot wound, and the case was quickly ruled a suicide. But whispers of foul play surfaced almost immediately. Some pointed fingers at his fiancée, others blamed an ex-lover with powerful Hollywood connections. The evidence was unclear, and the possible motives were complicated. Even today, more than 70 years later, people still debate what really happened. For many fans, the mystery of George Reeves' death is just as chilling and unforgettable as the heroic role that he once played on screen. And that wraps up our 10 behind-the-scenes truths that reveal the real story behind the cape. The Adventures of Superman electrified a generation and helped launch the superhero genre into the atmosphere. It's clear that the legend of Superman isn't just about the man who could fly, it's about the people, passions, and problems that brought him to life.